Imagine holding proof in your hand, the messages, the photos, everything, and instead of collapsing into guilt, the person in front of you breaks down crying like they're the one who got hurt. Not because they betrayed you, because they got caught. If you've ever wondered how someone can lie to your face without flinching, stay with me for the next few minutes, because the answer isn't about love running out. It's about a brain that never learned how to handle it in the first place. Here's something most people never realize until it's too late. There's a massive difference between a person who cheats once in a moment of weakness and someone who cheats repeatedly. One is a failure under pressure. The other is a pattern baked into how they operate. A serial cheater doesn't need a broken relationship to stray. In fact, they often do it when everything looks perfect from the outside. That's what makes it so disorienting for the person on the receiving end. You're not dealing with someone falling apart. You're dealing with someone who seems completely fine, loving even, while running a second life behind your back. So what's actually going on in their head? Psychologists point to something surprisingly simple: dopamine. In a healthy brain, that feel-good chemical shows up when you bond with someone, achieve something meaningful, or feel genuinely close to another person. But for someone wired toward chronic infidelity, the thrill isn't intimacy, it's risk, the secrecy, the hidden messages. The fear of almost being caught. That rush mimics what a gambler feels right before the dice land, or what an addict feels in the seconds before a hit lands. And here's the cruel twist: the safety and stability you offer to their nervous system that doesn't feel like love, it feels like boredom. Predictability starves the exact chemical high they've become dependent on. Like any addiction, tolerance builds. What used to feel exciting stops working, so the behavior creeps further. A harmless-looking like on social media becomes a late-night message. That becomes a private joke nobody else is in on. Eventually the line moves again and again because the brain keeps needing a bigger hit to feel the same spark. This is why the other person almost never matters in the way you'd expect. It was never really about them being better, smarter, or more attractive. They were simply the next available source of that chemical rush, replaceable the moment the secrecy wears off. To understand why someone's wired this way, you have to go back further, often to childhood. When love growing up was inconsistent, conditional, or tied to performance, a child's brain quietly learns a dangerous lesson: closeness is unsafe. Psychologists call this an avoidant attachment style. Fast forward to adulthood, and real intimacy, the kind you're offering, doesn't register as comfort. It registers as a trap. The closer you get, the more their internal alarm goes off, warning them they're losing control. So they create an exit without ever announcing it. Keeping a secret becomes their insurance policy, a way to always have one foot out the door, even in a relationship that looks, from your side, like it's thriving. Here's the part that messes with people the most. How do they say "I love you" and mean it, while hiding something else entirely? Psychologists describe this as compartmentalization, mentally splitting life into two sealed-off spaces. One box holds you, the relationship, the future. The other holds the secret. When they're in one box, the other genuinely doesn't exist to them in that moment. That's not an excuse. It's a defense mechanism that lets them avoid the guilt a normal person would feel almost instantly. And when those boxes threaten to touch, when you ask one simple question that gets too close, that's usually when you see anger instead of guilt. Not because you're wrong to ask, because you're threatening the wall keeping their two realities apart. Here's the belief that keeps a lot of people stuck: if they see how much this hurt me, they'll finally change. But getting caught rarely creates change on its own, not without real, sustained intervention. What it often creates instead is panic, not remorse for the pain caused, but fear of losing the image they've built. That's why the apologies can feel so convincing: passwords handed over, promises made, tears that look completely real. And often they are real, just not for the reason you'd hope. Without deeper change, forgiveness can unintentionally be read as permission, proof the relationship survives no matter what. And if the pattern repeats, it usually comes back more careful, better hidden, harder to catch. If you're watching this because you've lived through it, here's what I want you to actually take with you. None of this was ever about you not being enough. You cannot love someone into healing a wound you didn't create and can't see. Choosing to walk away from someone like this isn't losing something good. It's finally putting your own peace first. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and share where you felt it click. And if you want more breakdowns like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because understanding the pattern is the first step to never getting caught in it again.